It's time to wake up. That's right, it's time to wake up to who you are and what this life is all about. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Let me ask you this question. When you woke up today, could you look yourself in the mirror and say, I am glad to be alive? Could you really look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am glad to be alive? And if you could say that, do you know why you're glad to be alive? That's why I want to talk about it's time we wake up. And so, one of the things that you hear in scriptures or in ancient writings about the way to live is to be in the world, but not of it. In other words, do the dance, do the playing of the music, do the travel, but don't be the world. Don't make it the only thing that you are. So I want to take that idea and break it down a little bit. Now remember, everything I say is my perspective. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm giving you a perspective for you to consider to see how does it fit with what you want to do in life. Because until you test everything that I talk about, you will not own it. It's just mumbo jumbo. But for me, I've tested this and this works for me. So I want to say this. You, everyone, is a three-part being. Body, mind, and soul. That, my friends, is what is known as the Holy Trinity. You have a soul, you have a body, and you have a mind. In our human experience, all three of these are equally important. Think about it. When you're not tapped into the aspect of you that is infinite, which is the soul, something's missing. When your mind is not thinking clearly, thinking along the right way, something's going on. When your body ain't functioning well, it's not going on. So what is it? It's the mind, body, soul experience. And our job is to keep them in balance to the best of our ability. They work together as one harmonious vessel to experience life. So as we look at it, our soul contains all the knowledge in the universe. It is a microcosm of the macrocosm of infinite mind. In other words, the way we look at life at Agape is that there's consciousness. There's one consciousness. That consciousness created everything out of it. That consciousness is also the one mind. Because I am a point of consciousness within the infinite, as are you, all of the mind, all of the wisdom, all of the ideas that are in the one mind are available to you. But in our microcosm, we don't have a view of the infinite. We have a view of where we focus. And so our job is to constantly be shifting where we focus, and then all wisdom is always available to us any time of day, anywhere we are. It's there. It depends on where we focus. So our soul contains all the knowledge we will ever need on this planet. So you might ask, why do we have a body and why do we have a mind? It's pretty simple. Because our body and our mind allows us to experience what the soul knows. You see, the soul has all the wisdom. But the soul has no experience because it has nothing to experience against. Remember, the soul is a part of infinite consciousness, so there's no contrast. But when the soul takes on a body and takes on a mind, it enters into the world that we live in here on planet Earth at this time, a 3D world, where the mind and the body experience what the soul knows. And the more that the soul gets to have that experience, the more it asks of the body and the mind to experience more. And you see, that's the eternal creative process. The soul desiring to experience what it knows. And then the macrocosm of the microcosm gets to experience itself through the individual soul aspects of it. Because the macro cannot experience. because it does not have a body, it does not have a mind. It has chosen to break itself up into individualized points of consciousness. Our soul's purpose is to experience as much of this life as it can. It will maintain the body and mind as long as they serve the soul's expansion. One of the things is that I remember in studying in ministry about the idea of death. And what I learned was when the body and mind are no longer serving the soul's ability to expand and move on its journey to higher levels of awareness, the soul releases that body and mind so that it can move on. What happens, what we don't realize, is that our mind shuts down from wanting to experience more. And I don't think it's a conscious choice by anyone. I think it's that we're sort of lulled into nothingness. We're lulled into doing nothing. We're lulled into boredom. Yes, my friends, I'm going to use the word. We've been domesticated to not grow. Domesticated to be, it's okay to be boring. I don't know about you, but I can be bored for an hour maybe, and then I've got to do something because I've just got this impulse that wants to create. And so as I explored the idea today, I'm going to take a little bit further. So we have a soul, we have a body, we have a mind. How do we use them? I think the simplest way to do it is we imagine. Our soul gives us the idea of imagining something greater than we are. We plant that seed within our mind, our individual mind. It builds a framework around it. That framework starts to demonstrate through the words we speak, through the feelings we have behind it, through our actions. And as we align all of that and it becomes a natural part of us, a belief within us, we create. And then as we create that experience, because we're aware that we're creating, we revel in the experience and we associate the experience with what we imagine and we tie the two together and it gives us what? An expanded nature of our awareness. We become more aware of what we know through the experience of what we know. And then once we've got that done, guess what? The natural DNA within us to expand and become more says, let's repeat the process at a greater level. This is how I see life unfolding eternally. The soul stimulating whatever it is in this life, it's the mind and the body. To see something new, to use the creative process, to fully experience it, to be satisfied, and then to move on. That's what we call letting go. Once we've had the experience, don't try to hold on to it. No, create a new experience. Because guess what? If you've proven it to yourself, you understand you have the ability to create whatever you want, whenever you want. So you don't have to hold on to anything that you've got. You know you can let it go because you can create it again because you've proven it to yourself. The soul gives you the idea, the mind creates the process, and bam, you have the experience. So as I think about this, I ask this question. Lee, what juices you? What causes you to want to do more? And you've got to ask that to yourself. Think about your life. Think about everything you've experienced, what you're going through right now. What juices you? Because what juices you is your soul desiring to have more. That what juices you is your soul having a greater experience of what it knows. And it's the anticipation in the soul to have that. The soul doesn't care about timing. The soul is infinite. It's got all the time in the world. All the time in the world. But it loves the journey. The journey of the mind and the body creating and having an experience. I just love it. The more this happens to me and the more I see it happening to me, I have a greater zest for life. I actually want to create more. Why? It's just natural. When you've got something that's so good, you just can't wait to do more of it. You see, so what holds us back is our attachment to the past and the illusion that we have something to fear, which keeps us from knowing and connecting with our infinite nature. Yeah, we have been conditioned to think that the past is the best, and we don't want to let it go because it was good. There was a moment that was good. We may have been with a partner, and we had this one memory that was so good, and we don't want to let that memory go, so we stay with it. And we have a fear of letting it go, instead of understanding that we can turn to our infinite nature whenever we want and recreate something even better. Fear paralyzes. It contracts. Love always expands. And so we talked about the body, mind, and soul. The key to living a balanced life depends on our level of awareness. It is when we're aware that we can see that the body, the mind, and soul are integrated parts of us having the most incredible and expansive human experience. So when I look at the world today, I see the world, individuals in the world, not having this mind, body, and soul balance. I see people whose minds are stuck in the past. I see people who have let their bodies go so it's hard for them to have an expansive experience because their bodies are not in physical shape to do so. But here's what the universe has done. Because we're a part of the infinite, we have the ability to change. We have the ability to heal our body. We have the ability to expand our mind. We have the ability to listen to our soul. We listen to our soul through meditation. Through meditation, we ask for divine guidance of what is our next step. The universe always answers. We get it, and we use the mind and the body to create it. The simple creative process. You see, when you become aware of your true nature, the oneness that you are with the infinite, you will wake up every morning and say, I'm glad I'm alive, and I know why. Yes, I know why. I want you to take all the things I've said here, and I want you to write in the comments on the video you're watching, what was the single one thing that you found was most important for you to hear? I want you to write it, no matter where you are. Just write in the YouTube comments, please, or the Facebook comments. Write that one thing that you got out of this message, because that'll help me deliver it in a clearer way to others and to you. I can expand on this. I want this about you and I being a two-way. And I would love to ask you, if you received something from this message, go to agapespiritualcenter.com. Make a donation, give, and keep the giving and receiving process going, because your gift allows us to bring you this message each and every week. In fact, each and every day, we are doing something that's available to you. With that, I want to thank you, bless you, and let you know I am here to support you on your most magnificent journey. Create a great one, because only you can.